Throughout his term as president, Joe Biden was persistently asked about whether he would intervene in the court case against his son, Hunter. Take a look.
Is that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
Yesterday, Biden had a change of heart, granting his son a full pardon on tax.
He ain't had no damn change of heart. He lied. What's up, y'all, man? This your boy MAZ with the Doodle Better You channel. Today we got the cackling hens at it again. For some odd reason, they can't hold Joe Biden accountable. But however, let's get to it, man.
Tax evasion and federal gun charges. He released a statement that, quote, says no reasonable person who looks at the facts can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out because he is my son. That is wrong, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Now, I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision.
We understand why you would come to the decision, but the fact is, we don't like the fact that you lied.
So the question is, will people understand? Listen, I get it. I'm a convicted felon as president.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard for me to.
When stuck in a rut, deflect and blame Trump. These women cannot keep Trump's name out their mouth. Trump ain't got nothing to do with this. These women are so Trump deranged, they cannot hold Joe Biden accountable. Anytime when you try to hold Joe Biden to a standard, they always deflect, gaslight, and throw it back on Trump.
And I know that you know who's been asking, are you going to pardon the January 6th folks? Actually, probably not. But I kind of feel like I look at the list of folks that you know who pardoned during the first term. He granted 237 acts of clemency, 100.
Why the hell we talking about Trump? This is all about Joe Biden. Why the hell we talking about Trump? Well, she. Trump ain't got nothing to do with this. These women cannot keep Trump's name out their mouth. Why don't you just have some kind of integrity, man, and just say Joe Biden was wrong for lying? Is it that hard? He was wrong.
43 pardons and 94 commutations, including Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Charles Kushner, Steve Bannon, George Papadopoulos, Albert Pirro, and Lil Wayne.
Everybody.
I forgot about Lil Wayne.
Yeah. And Lil Wayne.
So fucking well. Who cares? These women are, my God, these women are so far removed on what the American people want and what the American people are feeling. I mean, she just read all these names. So what? Who cares? So we want to know why Joe Biden lied. That's what we want to know. We don't want to hear nothing about Trump. We don't want to hear nothing about he's a felon. We don't care. You want to know why Joe Biden lied.
So it is a president's prerogative. People can say, why are you doing that? But that's what presidents do every time. They do it
That's bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Because if Trump's son was in the same position, you women would have a fit. You women would never stop talking about it. You can't stop talking about him now. That's bullshit. And you know it, Whoopi.
every time they pardon somebody. So I'm not sure why the pearl clutching is happening now, except that that's what folks want to do. But it seems kind of foolish. You kind of knew he was going to do it, given all that's happened. But maybe I'm just...
And on top of that, y'all, I feel sorry for KJP, because she had to go out there and answer for him many times. She had to go out there and say that he wasn't going to pardon his son many times. And he made her look like a damn liar. So I feel sorry for her.
I see this one a little bit differently, and some of you know this, but I grew up with an analysis when I was growing up, and now a decade later, clean, have their life together, serve their time, are still dealing with the consequences. Inability to vote at time, paying restitution, working to get your record expunged, not being able to be eligible for certain employment. Most Americans, if they face consequences for actions that they took, they're going to have to face them, and nobody powerful and politically connected is going to come sweep in and save them. And I think, this feeds the notion to a lot of this country that there's simply a different set of rules for folks in power. And when we sit here and we say a lot like, well, Donald Trump did X, Y, and Z, and how did he get elected? Because to a lot of this country, it just becomes noise. They think that if you commit crimes and somebody powerful and connected in D.C., right, left, center, Biden, Trump, you're going to be able to get away with it if you have someone on your side, and that's not how it is for everyday folks. Secondly, I take issue with lying about it. I wanted to ask him here when he came on The View, but the thought was he said so many times he wasn't going to pardon him. That, to me, is lying to the public. I felt bad for Karine Jean-Pierre that she repeatedly had to say that he wasn't going to pardon him. This is why people don't trust Washington. That's why they don't trust politicians. And I know.
Yo, shout out to Alyssa Griffin, man. Alyssa Griffin is the only one up there that always makes sense. She's the only one up there that makes sense, that injects common sense into the conversation. She's the only one up there with some kind of integrity. Because all these other women going to do is just be disingenuous and deflect and just blame Trump for everything. Trump ain't got nothing to do with this.
A lot of us like Joe Biden, but I find it disappointing and bad for our institutions.
Well, look, I think sometimes, unfortunately, in this country, there are two sets of justice, right? I, too, have many family members convicted of felonies, marijuana, related to marijuana. They haven't been able to get positions in certain places. They haven't even been able to get housing in certain places. When I applied to be a federal prosecutor, there was a checkbox. If you're a felon, explain the circumstances, and you were more than likely not to get that. Now, as Whoopi said, that we have a convicted felon in the White House. Those questions should not be asked of anyone, anytime, anywhere. That is.
Didn't I tell you? They can't not keep Trump name out their damn mouth. Trump has nothing to do with this. These women are so goddamn Trump fueled and Trump deranged, it doesn't make any sense. Trump has nothing to do with this. Have some damn integrity. Just admit that he was wrong. It's not that hard. And guys, this is why people are not rocking with the Democrats no more. This is why over half of the country voted against them, because of shit like this. Because they have people like this on their side. And if the Democrats were smart, they would distance themselves away from people like this. But they won't. And trust me, I hope the Democrats keep it up so they can keep losing. I promise you, I can see in the near future the Republicans will probably be running this for like the next 12 years. Hands down. Straight up. This is why nobody not rocking with the Democrats, because they got people like this in their corner.
The bottom line is that policy needs to be changed. The other thing is, Trump did escape responsibility for all his crimes. He's nominating Charles Kushner, who he...
Shut the fuck up, Sonny Hostin. So what? He nominated Charles Kushner. So what?
Pardoned, as you mentioned, as the ambassador to France. Do you know what a nice felon would like? And, so please, with the hypocritical pearl clutching by this country, I think said it really best attorney would have charged this case given the underlying facts that have been investigated for 5 years. Less than, get this, 0.09% of people are indicted, prosecuted, charged, and found guilty of lying on a gun form. The only reason that Hunter Biden was gone after and charged, indicted, and found guilty was because his name wasn't Joe Smith, it was Hunter Biden.
And that's bullshit, because the thing of it is, the Justice Department that's targeting him, so to speak, is appointed by Joe Biden. This is his Justice Department that's targeting him. So how could they be targeting him because he's Joe Biden's son? I want y'all to look at the extent that these women will go just to make excuses for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Anytime you try to hold Joe Biden to a standard, they deflect and make all kind of excuses for him. Once again, have some damn integrity. Joe Biden can't do nothing wrong. And if I was up there, I would ask him that, damn, has Joe Biden did anything wrong in your, from your point of view?
And that's the truth of it. You've got Eric Holder saying it. You've got former prosecutors like myself saying it. So,
Why didn't he admit it
wait.
I think one of the reasons why he didn't admit it earlier was because he didn't know that the felon in chief would become the next president.
Let me let Anna speak.
So, I actually talked to Joe Biden about this. When he was on the show, I told him I hoped he pardoned Hunter.
I remember.
I went to speak at the Biden Institute in Delaware like a month later, and we talked on the phone, and I told him I hoped he pardoned Hunter. I left him a handwritten note at his desk at the University of Delaware and told him I hoped he pardoned Hunter. And the reason I thought it was important is because I wanted him to hear from people who support him and respect him, which I do, that some of us, I'd say most of us, think it's okay for him to pardon Hunter because of what you just said, that so many of the people who committed this crime do not get prosecuted. Imagine the guilt that Joe Biden has to live with, thinking that his son, his only surviving son, is getting prosecuted because he is his son. I want to say that Charlie Kushner, the guy, Jared's dad, who was pardoned by Trump, he was convicted of witness tampering, among many other things. And Chris Christie, Republican, who prosecuted him at the time, said it was one of the most loathsome, disgusting crimes he prosecuted in more than a decade. Look.
And we don't give a fuck. Between her and Joe Behar, man, they say some of the most crazy, extreme, stupidest shit. I'm serious, like, this is a stupid woman, man. Between her and Joy Behar, God, those women are stupid. They're not that smart. She said all that to say what?
He hired a hooker, set up his his brother-in-law with the hooker, and sent the photos to his sister to intimidate her into not testifying. I'll say this. Hunter, your dad has given you a great, great gift. The gift of freedom and taking this weight off your shoulders. Yeah. I hope now Hunter gives his dad a gift. The gift of being a good son, a good father, a good grandfather, a good human being, leading a productive life. Can I finish? Mm-hmm. And staying clean for the rest of his life. So I hope that this goes both ways.
I want to understand two things because I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it, but I wanted to understand why lie about it for so long.
I'd stop calling it a lie.
Okay, why repeatedly say you're not going to and you do? And secondarily, for the cut.
That's the damn definition of a lie. What are you talking about, Whoopi? Oh, boy. Once again, y'all, this is why nobody's rocking with them no more. Because they have people like this over there. No accountability.
part of this country, half of it, that doesn't support Biden, doesn't know him personally, doesn't get to have phone calls. And they're just looking at a system that seems like it only benefits the people who are in power.
I'm going to say,
what precedent does that set?
Well, here's what it sets. It's a precedent for all of us to open our eyes, because we've elected someone who is in a similar situation, who didn't have a drug problem, who knew what he was doing, who clearly.
So I guess Hunter Biden didn't know what he was doing because he's a drug addict now. More excuses. Shut the fuck up, Whoopi. See, legacy media is over with. I'd say within the next 5 to 10 years, this shit won't even be on no more. Or either they just revamp it and put some more level-headed people on there and keep Alyssa Griffin.
Stood and said, I can do this. And he did it. So I think, for many, many reasons, this is very different than any other situation that we have ever dealt with. Because when we're talking about who gets a pardon and who doesn't get a pardon, this man, I think Biden had no intentions of pardoning Hunter. And I think the more stuff that went down, I think he said, well, why am I busting my behind to stay straight and do this when nobody else is, when no one else is doing it?
I think he thought he was going to win, and I just wish he would have been honest with the public.
He said he wasn't going to pardon him even after he lost. But I think what happened in the meantime that we have to, be cognizant of is that Donald Trump campaigned on retribution, vindictiveness, and vengeance.
He's done it for 4 years.
He has appointed people who to law enforcement positions that have said we are here for retribution and vindictiveness. So Joe Biden could not leave.
You mean they're coming after the people that came after them? They're coming after people that came after Trump's family, his wife, his business partners? I don't have a problem with that. He should do that. And I hope he do.
Hunter, his only son, at the mercy of these people who are saying they're going to take retribution.
He is also, and look, he's the president, the sitting president, and he can do whatever he wants to until his time is up.
I don't like that president, Don.
Shut the fuck up, Whoopi. No, that's bullshit. Because if that was Trump, you wouldn't like it. That's not what you would have been saying if that was Trump. Guys, these women are terrible. It's good for me because I can give you guys content off this. However, this is a terrible show. Like I said, within the next 5-10 years, because legacy media is going like this. Within the next 5 or 10 years, man, I don't really see this show on. This show, MSNBC, CNN, those guys are in trouble. Anyway, y'all, man, this your boy Mazzo Capone, M-A-Z. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is a short one. Like and subscribe. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out.